Thank you. As a result of some of the foreclosure steps, land is expected to become kind of cheap and plentiful, which has prompted some steps in terms of reinventing neighborhoods. I wonder if you can talk about a couple of trends that might be happening here in Cleveland and have gotten a little bit more attention. One is the idea of bicycling for basic transportation, cycling, health, recreation, things like that. And the other is urban farming. I wonder if any of your other cities you had experiences with those and had comments for us.
I haven't gotten into bike trails yet, but as Bonnie Humphrey knows, I'm just learning my way around a bike. In terms of urban farming, that's an idea that has really captured my imagination. I'm a big foodie, and there's a gentleman sitting in this room, Mansfield Fraser, who is the author of one of the most interesting and feasible ideas, which is to create a winery in Huff. I'm not sure I like the name, Chateau Huff. And stick around with Mansfield. We had a meeting the other day in the Huff area, and about 40 people came, including top wine experts and soil experts and wind experts. And Cleveland soil turns out to be terrific, maybe because all of the contamination in it. It makes a great Bordeaux. And as far-fetched as this may seem, it really isn't when you get into it. There are all kinds of ideas like this going all over. And all you have to do is have lunch in a place like the new L'Albatros, the new restaurant on Bellflower. And suddenly the waiters are coming over talking to you, the bartenders know something, this guy knows something, you've got a whole little group that wants to do something, that believes in this. That's what's amazing about Cleveland. You can just go like that and, wow, yes. It's only the officials that say no.
Considering your passion for reforming the school system, do you have any specific ideas as to how you think that that's a possibility?
Well, the greatest model I've seen is ePrep, which is run in more draconian fashion than Culver Military Academy. It gives kids who don't have a discipline, who don't have any sense of discipline, who are just simply left to their own devices, an extremely rigorous sense of order and a set of rules. At the same time, it gives them achievable goals. It sets forth, the halls at ePrep are filled with pictures of, with records of achievement, with posters of colleges that they can aspire to. It's all about creating an atmosphere. The intensity is such that I'm told that the teachers at a place like ePrep burn out after 3 or 4 years because they're working so hard. I think that I'm very impressed with Dr. Sanders on a personal level, and I think his intentions are excellent. But he's fighting a big battle. I would listen to him very carefully. I think his ideas are very, very sound, and he wants more diversity of schools to meet different needs. See, what happens in so many of these schools, they're sort of one size fits all, and they don't fit anybody. There's not enough time for individual attention to the students. All of that has to be rethought. And by the way, here's an idea. I wish that the excellent private schools here would get more involved in working in the inner city, mentoring and tutoring after school. I know that HB and I think to some extent Hawken and the other ones do this, but that could be a big help.
I didn't hear you mention anything about religion in the Cuyahoga County condition. And recently, the Jewish Community Federation announced that they're basically pulling out of Cleveland, and the Catholic Church is closing down most of their Cleveland churches. I see this sort of as a sign of lack of faith on people who are supposed to be faithful.
Well, I'm not sure what to say about the Catholic bishop it's an amazing job. His job has become to close down. That's what he does. The Jewish Federation's move is deplorable. I think, and I think Eaton's move is deplorable. I think we should ask the same accountability and the same transparency of those long-time venerated organizations in Cleveland as we are beginning to ask of our public officials. I think everybody's in this together. And there's no question that we can't continue to vacate downtown. But I don't have, I mean, you know, you just, you shake your head. What's going on? I mean, they've got all this space down here, all these buildings, half full, less than half full. You have to leave. You've got to build a new building outside. Eaton really couldn't find bigger space down here.
You mentioned at the beginning of your presentation regarding addressing emerging leaders versus established leaders. I'd be curious to hear some of the anecdotes from your meetings and the perspectives that, the differences that you've noticed in meeting with maybe a sub-40 versus an over 40 individual.
I just had a meeting on Sunday with a guy. His name is Toby Rittner, and I can't tell you the name of his organization. It's a nonprofit organization for economic development. He's 33, is thrilled to be living on Coleridge Road in Cleveland Heights. Grew up in Findlay, Ohio, went to Ohio State. I looked at this young man. He's going to, if he's listening, he's going to blush. I said, this guy should be the mayor someday. He's so passionate. He's got wonderful ideas. He's ready to go. And I've met any number of other people just like him, like Eric right here. I'm finding increasingly that the more time I spend with people in their 20s, 30s, and 40s, early 40s, the more hopeful I'm becoming. And I just think the city, everybody's got to figure out a way to get these people into the pipeline and really into positions of responsibility. Remember the Hemingway quote, you got to start by trusting. That's what the Cavs did. The Cavs literally went to you guys are going to have to play, the rookies. LeBron's going to sit down. Okay, get up and play.
Since I don't see another one in this other room, I'm going to do a follow-up. How have you seen those individuals taking that power? Or are they asking for it? Are they just taking it? Are they demanding a seat at the table?
There's not enough networking among young people here, I've discovered. A lot of them don't know one another. They feel isolated, they feel frustrated, and one way to start that movement is to bring many of them together in forums like this, socially, informally, sit down and meet, talk, from all over the city, by the way, not just the people who work downtown, but from the western parts, southern parts, and the eastern parts. We're all amazed, of course, at how the east side and the west side continue to be so separate. It's interesting to me that people, whether they live in Westlake or whether they live in Independence or whether they live in Eastlake, still call themselves Clevelanders. Thank you.
Thank you, Charles. Today at the City Club, we've been listening to author Charles Michener. Thank you, Mr. Michener, and thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, those who purchased tables. This program was brought to you by the City Club New Leaders and is now adjourned. Thanks.